This prophecy trainer looks at past prophecies and how they were precisely fulfilled, as well as prophecies yet to happen and how they likely will be fulfilled. While many modern countries can be identified in prophecies yet to be fulfilled, there are many countries that have no prophecies related to them specifically. The United States is one of these. This is notable not because the U.S. is more important than other countries of the world, but because the U.S. has been a dominant force in the world for more than 100 years. This section is different than all others in this trainer, as it looks at a few scriptures that could point to the United States in prophecy. The commentaries will cover the problems with definitively stating these point to the U.S. in prophecy. Additional commentaries will address what may be the reasons for this notable omission. The following scriptures are discussed in the order in which they appear in the Bible and are not in order of any merit to the idea as a proof text. Isaiah 18, 1 and 2. Woe to the land shadowing with wings, which is beyond the rivers of Ethiopia, that sendeth ambassadors by the sea, even in vessels of bulrushes upon the waters, saying, Go, ye swift messengers, to a nation scattered and peeled, to a people terrible from their beginning, hitherto a nation meted out and trodden down, whose land the rivers have spoiled. Ethiopia is south of Israel. Cush is the nation being described, a nation meted out and trodden down, whose land the rivers have spoiled, could describe the United States in the future, but it describes nearly any country just as easily. Ezekiel 38:11 through 13. And thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages. I will go to them that are at rest, that dwell safely, all of them dwelling without walls, and having neither bars nor gates, to take a spoil, and to take a prey, to turn thine hand upon the desolate places that are now inhabited, and upon the people that are gathered out of the nations, which have gotten cattle and goods, that dwell in the midst of the land. Sheba and Dedan, and the merchants of Tarshish, with all the young lions thereof, shall say unto thee, Art thou come to take a spoil? Hast thou gathered thy company to take a prey? To carry away silver and gold, to take away cattle and goods, to take a great spoil? Some people see verse 13 mentioning the young lions and believe that England was the land of Tarshish. Thus, the United States would be a young lion, as a lion is often used as a symbol of England, and the U.S. is a former colony of England. The problem here is that there is more evidence that Tarshish is modern-day Spain. Additionally, carrying away silver and gold and taking a great spoil are not what the United States has done with Israel, quite the opposite. Daniel 7, 3 through 7. And 4 great beasts came up from the sea, diverse one from another. The first was like a lion, and had eagle's wings. I beheld till the wings thereof were plucked, and it was lifted up from the earth, and made to stand upon the feet as a man. And a man's heart was given to it. And behold, another beast, a second, like to a bear, and it raised up itself on one side. And it had 3 ribs in the mouth of it, between the teeth of it. And they said thus unto it, Arise, devour much flesh. After this I beheld, and lo, another, like a leopard, which had upon the back of it 4 wings of a fowl. The beast also had 4 heads, and dominion was given to it. After this I saw the night visions, and behold, a 4th beast, dreadful and terrible, and strong exceedingly. And it had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with the feet of it. And it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns. These 4 beasts, described in Daniel chapter 7, are explained in this same chapter. Verse 17 states, These great beasts, which are 4 kings which shall arise out of the earth. Some people read the eagle's wings in verse 4 and try to make this the United States. The problem with this interpretation is that these are successive kingdoms and the United States would be the first one listed. Ancient Babylon also had lions and eagles' wings as symbols. The focus of this future prophecy is the fourth beast, with the three previous beasts being replaced. The United States does not appear to match any of the particulars of the fourth beast. Revelation 7, 4 through 8. And I heard the number of them which were sealed, and there were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel. Of the tribe of Judah were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Reuben were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Gad were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Asher were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Nephilim were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Manasseh were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Simeon were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Levi were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Issachar were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Zebulun were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Joseph were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Benjamin were sealed 12,000. Some people think that the United States is made up of the 10 lost tribes of Israel. While many Jews living in the United States have come from all the tribes, they were never lost to God. Here in chapter 7 of Revelation, God has a count of the 144,000 Jewish males sealed to preach to the world during the tribulation. Religions that claim that they are these tribes are making God a liar, as though he could not clearly state who these people are. Revelation 12, 13, and 14. And when the dragon saw that he was cast unto the earth, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man-child. And to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place, where she is nourished for a time, and times, and half a time, from the face of the serpent. There are many Bible commentaries that speculate that the 2 wings of a great eagle could be the United States military. While the verse is more fitting with God's deliverance, even if this is the U.S. military, it implies nothing of the fate of the U.S. Revelation 13, 1 through 5. And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power, and his seat, and great authority. And I saw one of the heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast. And they worshipped the dragon which gave power unto the beast, and they worshipped the beast, saying, Who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him? And there was given unto him a mouth, speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 42 months. There are religions that say the United States is described in Revelation chapter 13. The entire chapter is not given here because verses 4 and 5 clearly show this chapter refers to a man, him. He is given power for 42 months. This cannot refer to a nation that has been a dominant force for 75 plus years. Revelation 17, 15 through 18. And he saith unto me, The waters which thou sawest, where the horse sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. For God hath put in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree, and to give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of God shall be fulfilled. And the woman which thou sawest is that great city, which reigneth over the kings of the earth. The whore of Revelation chapter 17 is described as a great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth. Some think this could be New York City. The United States is far more than New York City. Chapter 17, verses 5 and 6 state, "And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Jesus. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration." New York City has many sins, but it does not have the history of being the primary city drunken with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Jesus. Revelation 18. And after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and God hath remembered her iniquities. Reward her as she rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works. In the cup which she hath filled, fill to her double. How much she hath glorified herself, and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen, and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning, and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the Lord God who judgeth her. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her, and lament for her, when they shall see the smoke of her burning, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise any more. The merchandise of gold and silver, and precious stones, and of pearls, and fine linen, and purple, and silk, and scarlet, and all thine wood, and all manner of vessels of ivory, and all manner vessels of most precious wood, and of brass, and iron, and marble, and cinnamon, and odors, and ointments, and frankincense, and wine, and oil, and fine flour, and wheat, and beasts, and sheep, and horses, and chariots, and slaves, and souls of men. And the fruits that thy soul lusted after are departed from thee, and all things which were dainty and goodly are departed from thee, and thou shalt find them no more at all. The merchants of these things which were made rich by her shall stand afar off for the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing, and saying, Alas, alas, that great city, that was clothed in fine linen, and purple, and scarlet, and decked with gold, and precious stones and pearls. For in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught, and every shipmaster, and all the company in ships, and sailors, and as many as trade by sea, stood afar off, and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, What city is like unto this great city? And they cast dust on their heads, and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, Alas, alas, that great city, wherein were made rich all that had ships in the sea by reason of her costliness. For in 1 hour she is made desolate. Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for God hath avenged you on her. And a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone, and cast it into the sea, saying, Thus with violence shall that great city Babylon be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all. And the voice of harpers and musicians, and of pipers and trumpeters, shall be heard no more at all in thee. And no craftsman, of whatsoever craft he be, shall be found any more in thee, and the sound of a millstone shall be heard no more at all in thee, and the light of a candle shall shine no more at all in thee, and the voice of the bridegroom and of the bride shall be heard no more at all in thee. For thy merchants were the great men of the earth, for by thy sorceries were all nations deceived. And in her was found the blood of prophets and of saints and of all that were slain upon the earth. Chapter 18 describes the fall of Babylon the Great. While many of the verses describe Babylon as a key point of trade, it is difficult to equate this with the United States. However, verses 10, 16, 18, 19, and 21 tell us it is a city, not a nation. Just as previously mentioned in chapter 17, chapter 18 ends with verse 24, and in her was found the blood of prophets and of saints, and of all that were slain upon the earth. The United States has not killed the prophets of God or his saints. None of the previous verses clearly point to the United States in Bible prophecy. So what could account for the lack of verses? The following are a few possibilities. The U.S. becomes completely isolationist. The United States is devastated in a major attack. The U.S. is embroiled in a civil war. The U.S. suffers from multiple earthquakes and disasters, such as massive volcanic eruptions. The U.S. economy implodes and has no ability to influence the world. Hopefully, the rapture takes a high percentage of the population, and many of the remaining people heed the message of God's witnesses.